So what we have in front of us are the heat sinks that came off of the stock Dell PowerEdge 1950s. So these here are a very stark contrast as to what a good temperature managed server looks like after, over a decade of use. So you can see the one here on the left, how it's nice and clean, how there's barely any kind of dilation, and you don't get any of the discoloration, let's call it, right underneath on the die. Right? So that die cast, that copper is actually very clean. It was properly compounded. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But this guy right here next to it, yeah, that is our culprit. You can see either under extreme stress or by means of improper facility management, whenever they were, I mean, you can tell actually it almost looks like a completely different plant that would have manufactured that. Now, unfortunately, it's very difficult to be able to map these, and without doing any kind of like tracing back to where the actual unit that I have on hand came from. You can see though up here at the top, either that's been refitted or they had to repurpose it, or it's the end of a run. But you can tell the difference where right up here at the very tip here, you see how they're really well finished, they're cleanly cut, piped, crimped. These are pressed. So that could either be, something wrong with the machine. It could have been going through last. I could sit here and speculate all day, but I did want you to notice that this is what it looks like. The reason I have them off today is because I actually have two of them, and the other one doesn't appear to have that problem. And I have yet to take off the paste, but we're going to actually put something a little bit nicer on there. This is just a regular Denso copper-based thermal paste. Yeah, it's basically a grease. And I have seen where it has been performing wonders. And what I need right now is these servers to give me all they've got. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these off, and I'll be back with you guys in a minute. So you can really see a difference, right? These two are the ones I just cleaned. Obviously, these are the ones I showed you at the beginning of the video. And there's a very stark difference between the three here and that one that's got all of that heat damage. Now, this is fine still to run. It's still copper. It's not gonna damage anything, but it was very clear that the thermal application of the compound that they had put on here, or the machine had put on here, it was guaranteed not applied properly. That, or this is just a bad piece of the copper die. Now, I'm very curious as to why that is the way that it is. This is the difference I was talking about earlier. If you can really see it now, how's that? You see those pins are right here, right? That is not the way that these are at all. Now, this is the one that was it's paired. See how they are capped off? Very nice and clean. So what I've got here is, just like I said, it's a regular copper Denso. This is basically a thermal grease. And I am going to go ahead and turn this guy over a little bit so we can get a little bit better shot. Hopefully it doesn't fall on me again. And, well, let's get to it. Oh wait, I almost got ahead of myself. I have to get to the servers. Okay, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to speed things up, but I'm going to go ahead and grab them, and I'm just going to use my table here at my apartment as a makeshift operating table for those processors. Yep, they are old, but that just means they are still heavy. Alright, now, okay, good enough. Here's what we're looking at. You can see the compound is still mostly on both of these. I have not done anything with them. I'm going to do practically the same procedure, but because they're still in the socket and I do not intend on removing them, I will take the shielding off just a moment while I clean up around it, but I'm going to leave it on. I shouldn't have to do much more than that. So yeah, here we go. All right, so first sets, we're gonna get a little bit closer now. The first set's practically done. I want you to take a look here. I'll give you a little bit of shade on the other one so we can take a look somewhat. I don't want to get that too close. Right, they are still very nice quality. Here you go. How about that? It's a little bit better. There you go. Now that is not scratching necessarily, it's just buffing, right? So I've got a little buffer guy right here. I'm planning to use him. I want you to take a look at that. Let's make small circles, you know, standard processor cleaning stuff. I think this one was our culprit, the one that actually had the heat damage. But the rest of it seems to fare pretty well, and I didn't happen. I didn't see any raised issues as far as the top of the pins of the CPU. None of that actually seems to have suffered damage. So we're going to go ahead and drop that back. I'm going to get this other one, and then we're going to go ahead and get the rest of it. And in the meantime, maybe by next time I'll figure something out about a better camera set. Yeah. Using my cell phone seems to work, but you know, only so well. I'm pretty confident with that buff. Pretty sure it's good. It's definitely seated. Line that up. This thing about these old sockets, I mean, you got to make sure you are laying right on top of it, you know. And now that it's secured, I'm going to brush it a little bit harder with this. This is my buffer right there, so that's good. That just makes sure that I get all of the material right up off the top, and that is the one that had the heat damage. But you know, they're not bad. Little Xenon 511s, right? Definitely made in Costa Rica, though, huh? I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Honestly, if I'm real with you, I was more on the software side of things and not so much the hardware side of things most of my life. But all right. This guy looks good. This guy's already been looking good. Make sure that's lined up nice and proper. And just let the clip do all the pressure for you. See, even now I don't like the way that looks, just because of the way the shielding's lying on there. Maybe I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, I guess. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just pedantic. However it shakes out, not a bad thing to be when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, okay. All right, now we can get to applying a little bit of that heat compound. All right, that's one down. Let's do the next. Feel good. They're nice and stiff. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of help, and then. All right, that's one down. One more to go. See you guys in a minute. Okay. So same procedure. I've already started cleaning one of them, and that's before I decided to go ahead and make this video. So we're going to go ahead and start. All right, right, much better now. So, they look good. Same second burst, right? Same as the first. Come right over it and make about a pea-sized dot right at the top of the processor. All right. There we go. Might even be a little much. I'm gonna take a little back. No, that's fine. It's just about perfect. I mean, not necessarily distribution-wise, but it will be fine once it gets the heat sink pressed back on top. A little runaway right there, but that's fine. Okay. Those look pretty good. I'm gonna make sure that's got just enough. There it is. All right, now that looks pretty good. So since this is the one who did not have the heat damage, this one here, I'm going to go ahead and take the one that we know does. Drop that right back on here. Same as before. Bend these fins out a little bit. Put it back even. Oh, now, not today. Not today. Okay. Here we go. Nice and gentle. It's on. Put the pressure. I leave pressure on the top of them for these sockets for sure until I'm ready to take my hand off. Until I can take my hand off for sure. Now you can see this one already, it just got much hotter. Okay, last one with our last clean one, and then that'll be it for me. I'll clock it and I'll show you guys how, if any, how well this, or how much of a difference this copper grease makes. And yes, it is a copper grease, but don't be fooled. It keeps its consistency better than most thermal compounds that I've used under extreme heat. And yes, it is conductive, so you've got to be extremely careful when applying it, but you know, have a little faith. There you go. I'll see you guys in the next one, if there's a next one. Yeah. Ooh. Bye, guys.